options here, a little bit different to what you'd usually expect. Like I said, the client had a lot of existing Reiko in the property. So there was Reiko in this room that was just controlling a bank of spots. So it wasn't really set up properly, didn't have all the loads attached and lamps and bits and pieces. So we've stuck with Reiko for in the room's lighting. However, when we arrived on site to the right-hand side of it there, where we've ended up putting a Control4 keypad, what they had there was a cutout in the wall. There was an electrical feed to it, and there was 2 supplies going to 2 ceiling fans in the room. Now, there was no way to rewire that. Client didn't want to get rid of it, so kind of a bit of a workaround. We installed a Control4 dual switch to switch those 2 fans on. Now, because we're using it for the fans, we thought we may as well attach some AV onto that as well. So the Reiko keypad here on the left-hand side predominantly does the lighting. So they've got an all-on, scenes, just lamps, and an off on there. So yeah, the Reiko keypad does that. However, as I said, to the right of there, Control4 keypad with a Face4 brass surround, brass and black buttons, which are controlled in 2 fans that I'd mentioned before. But the client also asked for the ability to control his Sonos and turn that on, to put the cinema on and cinema off. So if he walks into the room, presses cinema on, that will retract the screen, select Apple TV as a source and put that on. So you could come in here, lighting scene, turn the cinema on, and that would do that. The volume buttons on here would, of course, do the volume of the AVR in the cinema room. And we have attached in on the cinema off that also will turn the lights off as well. So as he's leaving, cinema off, and then I will turn the room off. So this little cinema room has a 5.2 system in it from our friends over at Gallo Acoustics. So we've got the left, center and right channels at Diva SE, as are the rear channels. So rear left, rear right. And then we've actually paired those up with some custom triad or more slim subs from Triad, obviously. They've been colour matched in a colour to try and match the Gallo Acoustics speakers, which the client opted for in a bronze finish. They do actually work so well in this room. Obviously with the stone walls, which has its limitations by itself, but Gallo Acoustics on there work really well, and they just fill this room with sound. So for this cinema, we've opted for an Epsom 9400 projector. So whereas this isn't a true 4K projector, bang for buck with its 4K upscaling is absolutely bang on. And to be fair, that paired with a good screen, it provides a brilliant picture. Now, again, talking limitations, rooms always have limitations, in this room especially. So because we've got the beam running across the top of the room, client didn't want any damage to the wall or the stones, we've had to run the cabling across the top of the wall and down the wall in some kind of, it's like a magnolia coloured D-line trunking, try and blend it in with the stone. Obviously, it's never going to blend it in completely, but it's easy enough on the eye. So this room here then has a drop-down projector. So when a source is selected, or over on the keypad over there, so for instance Apple TV, what that's going to do, it's going to wake up the projector. It's going to bring the drop-down screen down, turn on the AVR and any AV equipment, and it brings us into the cinema. Now you might notice on that screen there, is that screen isn't actually a white fabric. It's kind of grey, well it is grey. That's because it's a fabric that is designed to retract high levels of light. So this room is really light. There's 2 windows in the ceiling, the ambient light levels are high. However, as this projector fires up, you'll see the image is actually really good, all things considered. So yeah. Of course, got on here, Control4 on-screen display, or Control4 manager as we call it. So this is done via the EF3 that we've got over in the rack. That'll bring us onto there with the favourites for the room. And then of course, if the client wanted to, he can access all cameras and bits and pieces from here as well. So when the cinema is turned off, it does all the previous in reverse. So a simple room off on the remote control is going to put the screen away, raise the light levels back up, and that's us all away.